Hi there, everybody. I'm delighted to have Nicola McMurray from McMurray Design Studio. Nicola is obviously supporting our local Bowness and Falkirk and businesses in the community. And I'm really delighted to hear from another female business entrepreneur about her business and how she can offer mainly other businesses support with design and marketing. So welcome, Nicola.
Hello.
I asked this with everybody, who are you? What do you do? How long have you been doing it? And basically give our audience a little bit more information, please.
Okay, so my name's Nicola McMurray. I'm based in Bowness, as has been mentioned. I run a multidisciplinary design studio where we focus on branding and commercial interior design for independent and smaller businesses who might not have the finances or budget to pay these massive marketing and other design companies who are probably better known in Scotland and the UK. So a lot of my work is to do with finding their identity, finding their right clients, and a lot of that comes from looking into the strategy behind the brand, their backstory, who they are, and their ideal clients.
Sounds fascinating. So you mentioned you kind of differentiate yourself from the bigger, more expensive agencies. Yeah. What makes you stand out? What's different? Or what, tell us, how do you stand out from the competition, or how do you compare, if you compare yourself at all?
I mean, I guess I am a small business myself. I run this by myself. And I've found a lot of the time smaller businesses and like high street shops and things like that, they don't have the means to pay bigger corporations to make their businesses stand out. So they're kind of losing out on opportunities, and I just want to kind of help them get the chance to stand out and reach their clients that they should be able to reach, but maybe don't have the background knowledge to know how to do that, or they might just be stuck. They might not have any idea how to go forwards. So that's where I come into play. And I guess being a one-man band, I can kind of share with them their challenges and things like that.
Okay. And what's your business journey been like as you kind of, you can associate being a small business owner? It's obviously had its ups and downs. Has it been like a hockey stick? How have you found it?
Well, I'm still quite new to the industry. I actually started in the middle of COVID, a great time to launch a business, I know. So there was a fair few challenges there. And I guess I've learned from that and can share that knowledge that I gained with other smaller businesses. Also being a female, like I just want to give back to the community, I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Have you got any case studies of companies that you're willing to share, and how kind of the impact you've had with them, or even not talk specifically about a brand, but perhaps just some kind of things that you've done for watchers to kind of just get a real understanding of how you work?
So I guess if I look back, during COVID, I worked with a small independent cheese shop company. She already had quite successful branding, and like the marketing side of things was all set up and ready for her to go. She owned a small high street shop that was like you could barely swing a cat in it. And she'd grown to the point where she needed a bigger space. So she'd purchased a new property, but she was having to rip it out and start from scratch. And she wasn't sure how to get the same message over into an interior. So like I always say, branding doesn't stop with just your logo. Like that should continue through to your physical bricks and mortar space. So I helped her develop a message and general look and feel to this new shop. And she's done amazing, even throughout COVID. She's won numerous awards now for the actual shop. She's just doing amazing things now. Whereas perhaps if she hadn't approached an interior designer to help with that, she might not have had the same messaging put across, or I don't know, she might not have reached the right target audience, things like that. There's a lot to consider when it comes to designing a space.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something that I have to say I probably never really understood or appreciated much until speaking with you, and you're giving your customers cues, aren't you, really, in that space.
And I guess during COVID we had limited, like you were allowed limited numbers of customers in the shop, so it was looking at ways to utilize the space in order to get the best value out of everything. So there was a lot of things like that to consider.
Is there any particular company or brand that uses space in their commercial environment really well that you think they're smashing it?
That I've worked with, or just in general?
Just in general, or with you.
Oh gosh. So I mean, I don't know how well everyone knows East Lothian. Basically, I'm originally from East Lothian. There is a farm shop kind of restaurant called Archerfield Walled Garden.
Oh, yes, yeah.
So they have totally smashed out the park. Their branding, the general feel that they want to create for their customers, the layout, the space is quite multi-use. So there's like the restaurant, there's like a bakery, they've got their shop, and it's all very thought through, and focuses on getting clients in the door and really making them spend that money in a way that they don't, like, you don't want customers to know they're spending money almost. You want to entice them in enough that they'll spend hours there perusing, lunching, all of that. So yeah, they have definitely done a great job with that.
And you're absolutely right. Oh my goodness, I just remembered my mum has spent bought paintings from there. Yeah. My daughter's bought earrings. You think you're just going for a scone and a cuppa, and you come out with loads. And and
I mean they're doing events and things like that now as well. So they're branching off into a totally different industry, but it just all works seamlessly together. And that's kind of what I hope to offer more, like smaller independent companies. They don't need to just offer one thing or approach one set of clients. Like there's ways that you can reach other demographics that you might not have thought were an option for you. It just all comes down to how you market yourself and like considering the layout of your shop and things like that.
Yeah, well, and exactly, it takes you so much energy sometimes to get a customer, to get that conversation or that person in your shop or that lead, them to your website.
Yeah,
you have to really then nurture, don't you? And you really want them to move forward and you even take those micro steps to engaging with you and forward. So I love that example. I love Archerfield as well. So what about the challenges? What challenges do you foresee in this industry? We've got this world of unpredictability. You set up in COVID. So I don't know, do you have a normal?
I mean, as I said, I started during COVID, and I suppose some people would say I was absolutely mad to launch a business in the middle of a pandemic. But I think for me, I didn't really know any different. And it kind of gave me the chance to really listen to customers and find out what they were needing help with and what they really wanted. from my business, because we were all kind of living a much slower pace of life. So, I mean, I was able to kind of work out ways to offer the same services, but when money was so limited and there wasn't the same customer base coming into the shops, it meant that I could offer the services at a slightly different capacity. So like I started offering kind of intensive day sessions rather than like usually full branding or interior package would last for weeks and weeks, getting like everything in place and correct. Whereas the intensive days, we were able to like kind of merge everything into this really jam-packed session, looking at problem solving and all of that at a much smaller price. So like I was still able to offer the services and not just sit twiddling my fingers waiting on the clients coming to me.
Brilliant. So yeah, it's constantly pivoting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And doing something that the customer wants.
Yeah.
What's your biggest lesson to date?
I think it's just realizing that like education and growth doesn't just stop. Like I'm always looking at ways to improve my services, improve myself, and like learn new things throughout, because it's a journey. Like I don't know everything, and I never will know everything to do with branding and interiors, but putting myself out there and taking on courses or going to networking events, things like that, it really helps me learn things that I maybe wouldn't have thought of, or you hear from other business owners who might have a different perspective to something. So yeah, I guess just always being open to learning and growing and developing.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's such a key aspect of being a business owner. You've got to be
Mm-hmm.
open-minded to learn first and foremost. And so sometimes you in a business, you get to a certain level and then you're like, oh, I'm comfortable again. I'm not needing to strive. And then sometimes you plateau in both your personal growth, but also the business revenue. If you were to go back in time and give Nicola 18 a piece of advice, what would you give her?
I mean, I had quite an unusual approach to getting into the industry that I'm in now. I didn't follow the conventional go to uni after high school route. I actually found a part-time job, and then I did some distance learning degree work, and then was also doing work experience in the industry at the same time. So I think, I don't know, just if I'd known more, it would be to kind of believe in myself and not follow the norm. Like it's okay to do something that's a bit different. I think when you're at high school, you're very much pushed to do this conventional college or university route. And you hear stories all the time of teens being so disappointed if they've not got the right results or they've not got into the university that they were hoping to get into. And a lot of them think that's the be all end all. And that it's not the case. There are so many different routes and options that you can take. So yeah, I think just remind myself that everything will work out and you don't need to follow the crowd to get into the industry that you want to.
Brilliant and great advice. What inspires you to do what you do on that point? You obviously worked really hard to get where you are. What was it that inspired you to do what you
This is probably going to sound really cheesy, but basically, so my dad ran a successful butcher shop company for I think he was 16 when he started. He was the third generation of our family to take it over, and he worked there until he retired in 2021. So I think having that kind of entrepreneurial backgrounds throughout my childhood really ingrained this into me. And like I don't know, there was like a real passion to do something that I loved. And yes, there would be challenges and it would be difficult at times, but seeing him being able to provide and do everything that he wanted to do with the business kind of made me want to do the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't think that's cheesy at all, because I think having entrepreneurial parents is one of the major, reasons for people believing that they can do it themselves. That's exactly the same for me. I saw my dad grow a business and have that autonomy and the love and the passion for work. And yeah, I totally resonate with that. I don't think that's cheesy at all. It's
a lot of people probably have some, I don't know, celebrity or I don't know, something like that to look up to, but I have my dad.
I even in my HR career, I would always ask a lot of people who's your role model. And I would say 70-80% of people, say their parents. And I think
that's lovely.
Thing. Yeah. Absolutely. And it's not always about being the entrepreneur. It might be that they've just worked really hard in their life, and their ethics for work or their ethics for looking or caring after people is what inspires them to do what they do. So in terms of serving others, and obviously this is about a spotlight on our Falkirk business community, Stirling bonus. Tell us about how anybody that could work with you, use your service, how can they find you, and what else where can they meet you, etc.
So I mean, I'm on social media, Instagram and Facebook under this is terrible. So Instagram's Nicola McMurray.design studio. Facebook is Nicola McMurray Design Studio, I think.
Okay.
And you can also contact me on my website, which is actually under construction at the moment, but it's very close to getting finalized and launched properly. But you can contact me through that as well and find out a bit more about the services that I offer. But also if you just are looking for some help, want to find out a bit more about how I could help you, I mean, feel free to pick up the phone or give me a wee email. I'm more than happy to kind of have an introductory call, chat through things before you have to commit to anything. And yeah, just see how it can help you stand out a bit more from the crowd and get your voice heard a bit more.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Nicola. It's been really fascinating. I have a keen interest in interior design, but I've never added that to the commercial elements. So thank you very much, and we will look forward to witnessing your business journey. So wishing you all the best.